is up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to go back to something my colleague on the other side said earlier. He's now stepped out. He said, you know, Americans voted for this. So he said, Americans wanted this. And I just want to be clear that I, unlike many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, will admit that President Trump did win this election. And part of what he ran on was about going after the worst of the worst. Hundreds of times he said that in gatherings with his supporters. We're going to go after the worst of the worst. We're going to go after the criminals. We're going to go after the racists. We're going to go after the drug dealers. Americans actually do not support where we are right now because he actually is not going after the worst of the worst, and all the data points show that. But I just want to level set here so that we can see what we're talking about in terms of the supersizing of the ICE budget, because you can look at all of the years that are leading up from 2017 till today, and the dark orange is where the ICE budget has been, and then you see this incredible increase in the budget under the One Big Beautiful Bill, which I've noticed they've stopped calling that because they know it's incredibly unpopular right now. But this is what we're talking about. This now, they have created the largest law enforcement agency in the country by far. So if you combined law enforcement in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and Dallas, you would then have the amount of officers that are being hired and deployed through ICE. $170 billion to DHS, and then an additional $70 billion more, because that 170 plus was not enough. That's $240 billion taxpayer dollars to fund ICE. And no, Americans did not ask to have ICE agents stopping them on the street based on the color of their skin or the accent they're using. When I was in Chicago, in Minneapolis, when the ranking member on the subcommittee on immigration led trips to witness what was happening in those two cities, what we saw were Americans not just being stopped, but being detained. We saw in very similar cases to what we just saw in Biddeford, Maine. The man was gunned down in front of his kid. He was there legally. He had papers to work. And so it is so hard to sit in this committee because it is this incredible brainwashing that has been done to the American people, saying, don't worry, trust us with the dollars, trust us with what ICE is doing, even though we can't still seem to get body cameras. We got people with masks. We got people who are not identified. You got people chasing after you in unmarked cars. Of course you're going to be scared. Of course you're not going to know exactly what to do. And so, no, the American people did not ask for this. And so right now, the polling for President Trump in terms of approval on the way that he's handling the immigration sits at about 37%. Meanwhile, 80% of Americans consider immigration a net positive. So 2/3 of the people have seen more than enough of what is being done in our name with our taxpayer dollars. And there is not majority support, far from it, for what ICE is perpetrating against innocent people across this country. It would be a very different conversation if, in fact, this president and ICE were going after the so-called worst of the worst, but we're not seeing it, and that's why the people of Biddeford, Maine, stood up this week when this tragic killing happened and said, we are good people. He was a good man going to work, and this never should have happened. And I know the ranking member would like to jump in here.
Thank you, Ms. Balint.